Proclamations. Item A, proclamation declaring Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall Recognition Week.
Commissioner Dennis.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. It is my honor to read the following proclamation. Whereas the Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall is a half-size replica of the Washington, D.C. Vietnam Veterans Memorial and has toured the country for more than 30 years to honor the brave men and women who served our nation. As the moving wall travels around the country, it will visit Valley Center October 21st to the 25th, 2021. And whereas the traveling memorial stands as a reminder of the sacrifices veterans made during the Vietnam War, and we salute our brave Vietnam veterans who in service to our nation and in the defense of liberty fought gallantly. And whereas the moving wall honors the men and women of Kansas and our nation who gave their lives during the Vietnam War from 1955 to 1975, there are 639 names of Kansas men on the memorial, and we embrace our responsibility to help our Vietnam veterans and their families heal from the heavy toll of war. We remember more than 58,000 whose names are memorialized on the black granite wall in our nation's capital and on the moving wall. And whereas all Vietnam veterans gave some and some gave all, we owe a debt of gratitude to all veterans having borne the heaviest cost of war. We also pay tribute to the brave patriots who suffered as prisoners of war, and we stand steadfast in our commitment not to rest until we account for all of the 1,253 heroes who have not yet returned to American soil. And whereas this moving wall and the wall in our nation's capital help ensure the sacrifices of the 9 million heroes who served during this difficult chapter of our country's history and returned home are remembered, and will help those who served proudly heal as remember both the fallen and those who served during this turbulent time in our history. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Chairman Peter F. Meissner and the entire Board of Sedgwick County Commissioners do hereby proclaim October 21st to 25th, 2021 as Vietnam Memorial Moving Wall Recognition Week in Sedgwick County, and call on all of our citizens to recognize all the contributions of our nation's Vietnam veterans, and I call upon all Americans to offer each of our Vietnam veterans thank you on behalf of our nation. Madam Chairman, I would move that we approve this proclamation.
Second.
Commissioner Lopez?
Aye.
Commissioner Dennis?
Aye.
Commissioner Howell?
Aye.
Commissioner Cruz?
Aye.
Chairman Meissner?
And we have Councilman Ron Colbert from Valley Center here to receive the proclamation. Thank you, Ron.
Good morning. I'm Ron Colbert, City Councilman for Valley Center and the project chairman of the Moving Wall. It is indeed a pleasure to accept this proclamation on the Moving Wall that will be in Valley Center October 21st through the 25th in Lyons Park at 316 East Clay Street. Commissioners, I would also like these individuals that are in the room here with me to come forward and introduce themselves and their functions with the Moving Wall. These are very special people. Without them, I would not be able to make this event happen. Chris, will you start, please?
We're very bright this morning. We're so glad to have you all here.
Good morning. My name is Chris Evans. I'm a council member also of Valley Center, and I'm one of the Bronze co-chairmen.
Welcome.
I'm Gary Rogers, volunteer and co-chairman.
Hi, Gary.
Terry Nankus, I'm chairman of the volunteer committee.
Hello.
Andy Quant. I'm just a staff member, part of the 6 benches that were built for the wall.
You're not just a staff member. That's pretty important.
I'm Jerry Hawkins. I'm in charge of social media and marketing.
Hi, Jerry.
I'm Larry Strelo, past commander of Post 73, one of the hosts starting positions on the wall 2 years ago. So we have been working on this a long time.
Hello.
Thank you.
Thank you. Patty, did you have something to say? All right.
You want to go first? No. You sure?
Only if you want me to.
Yes.
Okay, I knew it. Last word guy. Patty Nefco. I and Hutch and I actually are in charge of the veteran providers that will have free information booths there, and also been working on the senior citizens' homes to bring buses in with their residents. So it's been a wonderful task, and I will just say that I know Hutch will have wonderful words to say, but I want to say it's been a complete honor and privilege to work with you, sir, and your team, and we've just gotten to know so many wonderful people, and it's an effort that we want everybody to come out to this wall. Valley Center, October 21, 25. Please come out and see this wall. It means a lot to everyone. Hutch?
You bet. This has been a great honor, and it's given Patty and I an opportunity to work with for, I don't know, a year. This has been kind of a year-long process, and then here in the last month and a half, we've narrowed it down to where we've been meeting every Monday night. So it's crunch time. But with that said, all of the people that you see here in yellow shirts and many more, just the relationships are invaluable. Most of them happen to be up in my age group, and I felt that very refreshing. And they're all just the most outstanding people I could ever imagine. Valley Center is beyond lucky, and so Valley Center has always had a special place in my heart, but it really has a special place in my heart, and somehow, some way, I'm going to find a way to be a part of what Valley Center does. So, and then I want to thank the commissioners for having us here today. So, and then I'll just add to what Patty said. Patty and I were commissioned with the task of organizing all the vendors, and you know, that was kind of quite a task, and it still is. You know, Patty and I worked on it last night, but you can be rest assured that all the vendors that will be there have all been vetted through Patty and I. They're all veteran-centric, and so it's of the highest quality and highest standard, and just only appropriate for this event. So, thank you.
Thank you, Hutch. Thank you, Patty. Ron, how many hours do you think that you guys have in this total?
Let me get through these two, and I'll tell you.
Okay, here's Brent Clark.
I was like, I don't know if the calculator goes that high. Good morning, Brent Clark, the proud city administrator in Valley Center, and also the, am I the treasurer? I believe the treasurer for the Moving Wall project. I want to thank everybody in this room, as well as all the surrounding communities as well in Sedgwick County. It truly takes an entire region to put on this event. We hope you take an opportunity to come and view the wall, get all the emotions and experience of just seeing it in person, and we hope that you spend some time and spend some money in Valley Center. So thank you for the opportunity this morning to come before you.
Thank you, Brent. And our Register of Deeds, Tanya Buckingham.
Hi, Tanya Buckingham, Register of Deeds, and I'd like to thank Patty and Hutch and Ron. They invited us to come to the event to issue the military discount cards and also to record the DD-214s. So we're excited to be there and be part of this event.
Awesome. Okay, Ron, how many days or how many hours do you think your team has in this?
2 years, 3 months, 18 days, and maybe 10 hours.
Wow. That's
or more.
It's a huge effort.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I want to come down and get a photo as well, so go ahead and we'll just take a little quick.
Thank you. I just wanted to say I appreciate Ron so much. He came to my office, I think maybe a couple of years ago at this point, introduced the idea to me with a few of the colleagues here in this room. And I didn't really understand exactly what was being proposed. But as I got to know more about the project and got to know Ron a little bit better, I have to tell you, this is it's kind of a bittersweet event. The cost of war is hard to fathom. I lost a friend last week who's a Vietnam veteran. And he's about a little bit older than me, not too much older than I am. On that wall, there are thousands and thousands and thousands of names who gave their lives for their country. And it's hard to take that in until you see it. Now, unfortunately, I have never actually seen the memorial in Washington, D.C. So this is an opportunity for me, and I'm sure there's the majority of people in this country have never seen this wall. So this is a great opportunity to bring the wall to them. And it's an extremely big project. I think that Ron is one of the most, if I was to put an adjective on Ron, I'd say he's the can-do person. He can do things that no one else can do. He can bring it together. He's one of the most organized people I've ever met in my life. And this is a very, very large project, and he's been on top of it from the very beginning. This would not happen without Ron. So this is a huge opportunity for this community, and it's a big deal. In fact, I understand this is probably the last time it will ever come to our state. So this is a big deal. We need to make sure that people have a chance to see it. We're going to put this on social media. I hope everybody listening to me right now, you like and share and tag friends about this, and let's bring this entire community out to see this wall, because this is a big deal. And we really need to honor our veterans. I got to serve in the Air Force for 5 years, and Colonel Dennis here, a much longer career in the military. We didn't have to give our lives. We did sign up to do that. And that was a scary thing. I was a newlywed, and I had to go to war, the first Gulf War. I didn't know my future. These are people who left their families and never came back. And there are so many more that are still suffering PTSD, and their families that suffer with them because of the cost that they paid for our freedom and for our country. So this is a big deal. I appreciate the fact that we have the chance to do this. Out of all the proclamations I've ever been involved in, this may be one of the most important. So thank you, Ron, for bringing this to us and for making this happen. I appreciate you greatly. Thank you.
Well, first I want to thank Ron and all the volunteers that made this happen. We sincerely appreciate the time and effort you spent doing this. I also want to thank Sabrina, as I don't know how many of you noticed, but the proclamation was a little longer than most of the proclamations because there was so much to say about this. And so she had to make a lot of changes in the way that our proclamation fits on the page in order to be able to get all those words in. And it still doesn't do justice to the sacrifices of over 58,000 men and women's names that are on that wall, and all of those that served in Vietnam. I enlisted in the Air Force in 1968, and so you recognize that was the height of the Vietnam War. If you look at that wall, 68 and 69 have more names than any other years. My brother enlisted at the same time in the United States Army. He did go to Vietnam and was injured in Vietnam. He's still alive today, thank God. But he has Agent Orange very badly, and it's affected his health. My cousin was the first Army nurse into Vietnam, a female Army nurse. They weren't sending females over initially, and finally we had enough casualties. They had to be able to have enough nurses, so she did serve over there. If you get to go to Washington, D.C., you're going to see that besides the wall, there are two statues there, one of the fighting men and one of the nurses. And my cousin was instrumental in helping get that second statue put in. But the sacrifices were immense. I guarantee you that it changed my life. I probably would never have even entered the military if it hadn't have been for the Vietnam War. And as a result of that, I found a calling and stayed for 29 years. So I know that it affected me, even though that I did not take a tour in Vietnam. My brother did, and they weren't sending brothers over at the same time at that point. So once I transitioned into nuclear weapons, they didn't really need me over there. But overall, my life completely changed as a result. I'm where I'm at today because of 29 years that I served. And it was an honor to serve with all of the men and women. I had 3 different joint jobs, so I have had an opportunity to serve with the Army, Navy, Marines, and the sacrifices that every man and woman that puts on the uniform make every single day are immense. And 58,000 plus names are on that wall, and they gave more than anyone. So I appreciate the volunteers. I appreciate Ron for bringing this wall to our community so that we can share and let some of the Vietnam veterans that did serve over there come to that wall, and hopefully they can heal. I have friends that I graduated from school with, that's names are on there. They're chronological, and as I served in the Air Force in Strategic Air Command, where there's a hat here in the room with Strategic Air Command, you're going to see that wherever they shot down B-52s, the entire crew are commemorated together. So they're still together today. So it is important to heal, and this is an opportunity to heal.
Thank you for all your kind remarks, and there's a few things I'd like to say to answer some questions that everybody probably are wondering about. I'd like to take a few minutes of your time to explain how this happened and the individuals behind me became involved in the project. In 2018, a group of veterans were talking what a project we would like to see and do. It was suggested that we investigate and bring the moving wall back to Valley Center. After a few months of phone calls and research, we started to plan to bring the moving wall. In January of 2019, we started the planning and scheduling the wall after receiving permission from the city, and they became the sponsors along with the American Legion Post 73 in Valley Center. The group, the Moving Wall in Michigan, set a date and requested a deposit of $2,500 to start the project. But as the COVID happened, we had to delay until 2020, delay our 2020 date and have it rescheduled for 2021. In January of this year, we found we could have the same dates, but one date earlier. We set up the committees, started raising funds, started advertising the wall coming to Valley Center. As we continue with the planning and raising funds for our group, it grew to 32 plus staff members and 150 volunteers to work the 4 days the wall was here. We also have 3 ceremonies, a parade of about 250 bikers escorting the wall from Greenwich Road and Hampton Suites, where they are moving the wall to Valley Center. They will get together at the Coliseum, most of the bikers, where they will join the group coming from Wichita and continue on 85th Street to Meridian to Allen Street, at which time the Drum Corps will escort the moving wall to its final place on Clay Street. All this will start at 8 o'clock in Wichita and arrive in Valley Center about 8:45. We also request all Vietnam veterans to bring their DD Form 214 to receive a special coin, which I have in my pocket, but I'm not sure if anybody will be able to see it. It's a very nice gold coin, but if the Vietnam veteran shows us, they will get this coin. We have another coin for other members also on there. Commissioners, I would like to take an hour or two to give you all the details about the wall, the planning of the wall and so forth. But I want to end by saying this, quote, we must always remember our brethren that didn't make it home, and we must never forget to honor them in any way we can, unquote. With that, again, thank you for the proclamation, and hope everybody can come to the wall. Thank you.